time, eat some food, get fit a little bit, and yeah, have a good. It will be a really, really good full-on day. It starts from 10 and it actually rounds up around 4 p.m. So it's a full on day. Come as you go. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, and then lastly, just to mention, we are on social media, Loves and Inspirers. So make sure to give us a follow. It is, if it can just come on the screen, that would be great to scan the little QR code. Amazing. So register for the next service, which will be next Monday as well, and we'll be meeting weekly. So if you just scan that, so this is the event, okay? If you scan this code, you can register to the event. I love how the team is working with me today. Now, if we just go back to the other one, where they can register for service, that's where I was at. Perfect. You can register for service for the next one, but you're going to really enjoy this time. We're going to have amazing speakers. I'm going to hand it off to Pastor Zainab now, and she's going to take over. And yes, sit tight, enjoy, and be enlightened.
I got the nation on my back, we're going straight up to the top with a new gen leaders. I got revival on my mind, can't you see we are the sign with a new gen leaders. I got the nation on my back, we're going straight up to the top with a new gen leaders. I got revival on my mind, can't you see we are the sign with a new gen leaders. I ain't got nothing to prove. Turn one into two. Them on my gas and I made that stuff happen, and now I got multiple boosts. Inspired a whole generation. I ain't even write this stuff down. If you're talking about gospel drill, you know that we started a sound. That's a history lesson. I came up testing weapons. If you see me with F45, you know that's a back road shit. Toolkit, but we walk it still. Talk about drills and of course we will. Then I raise no kid, that's some morning pills. Couldn't live this life cause my life's too real. I got the nation on my back, we're going straight up to the top with a new gen leaders. I got revival on my mind, can't you see we are the sign with a new gen leaders. I got the nation on my back, we're going straight up to the top with a new gen leaders. I got revival on my mind, can't you see we are the sign with a new gen leader.
Better talk to me nice when you see me, I am your favourite rapper's leader. I can never be robbed like a G.
Wow. Hello, everyone. Good evening, all. Yeah, where's the energy? Come on, I know you're not tired. It's only Monday. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm Pastor Zainab. As you can see, a video we just watched was one of our Entrepreneur Fest, our first one actually that we did a couple of weeks ago, where we gave a lot of opportunities to people with businesses, and we just gave them platforms to be able to kind of show their work, show what they do, get that exposure, and that is basically what we do. So I do hope you was inspired by this video and saw the things that we do and why you should continue to be part of us. So I'm just here to introduce the story panel, which is basically going to be a few people who are going to come up and talk about their story and why Loves Inspirers is important to them, what it's done for them, and how you can also join. Before I get off the stage, I'll also let you know that we are part of SPAC Nation. We are birthed from SPAC Nation, which is run by Pastor Toby, and this is basically another arm of the church out of the 5 churches. And we are also here to inspire you, and I hope you enjoy the service.
Hello everyone. So my name is Minister Amelia, and I'm just so honored to be sharing my story with all of you today. So I think, there's pictures with it as well. So I'll just start way from the beginning. So I was actually born in Uganda, and the big difference between Uganda and the UK is that there's no public healthcare, no public schooling system. There's basically you have to pay for everything that you get. And okay, so they've sided with the pictures. So I used to love the red hair basically. This was, but anyway, the pictures are going a bit too quickly. But yeah, going back to the story, so basically I grew up in a country where to get something, you basically have to earn it. And in that time, I remember that my mom was just like trying to do her best for us, like trying to make sure like we got into like the best schools, have healthcare whenever we needed it, and basically just have like a good life as kids. And so that was like the beginning years of my life when I was just growing up. Sorry, just gonna look at my notes. Yeah, so by the time I was like in high school, the thing that I wanted to do was I wanted to become an accountant because I was basically good at maths. So I was like, I'll just become an accountant like my mom and, we'll just end it there. And I was actually never supposed to be in this country, like speaking to all of you and even like sharing my story with you. But what happened was that over the years, like while I was in high school, my mom just started to like miss us because she lived in the UK and we lived in Uganda. And I was basically just living with like people you call aunties, but you're not really related to them. It's just sort of like custodial care. And so then she was like, oh, like I miss my kids. So then I came here when I was 14, and it was just like a big culture shock because like all my life I've known one thing, I've spoken one language, and then I've come here and it's like everything's different, and then just shoved straight into like the schooling system. And the biggest difference with that was that in Uganda would have like, and this is like a good school, you'd have a classroom and there'll be 80 students in the class, and it's basically if you learn something, you learn something. If you don't learn something, you don't learn something. Like, the teachers don't really care like what you're doing there. But I came here and I go into a school that was really like nurturing, and they cared about what you learned, what you didn't understand. And that system really helped me to grow and like understand school and want to actually learn more. And that's where my love for science actually started. And so then going on from that, I did my GCSEs, I did my A-levels. I started to study as much as I wanted because when I was in Uganda, I didn't study at all because again, like, no one really cares what you're doing. So you can just basically live your life in class, in school, and do whatever. But here it was like a better environment. So I did that, I did my A-levels, I managed to get into Imperial. I was so chuffed. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I was so chuffed. I was like, so excited. I was like, this is like my dream university. Like, I wanted to go here. I wanted to study bioengineering. And I got there and I started studying. And then all of a sudden, like in my first year, I just got hit with like this big bout of depression. Like, I can't tell you that I was depressed because of so-and-so. Like, this happened, that happened. Literally nothing happened. I was just living my life. And then the next day, it's just harder and harder to like leave your house and stuff like that. And just like having sleep paralysis every single night. And at that point, I was kind of like, you don't actually know what's happening to you. And so moving on from that, I just sort of tried to manage myself over time, like, but I wasn't really going into class, wasn't really like studying and stuff like that. But this was like my dream university, like this is where I wanted to be. So over the first year I managed to scrape by. The second year it wasn't really working out. And then the third year, I actually failed that year and they told me, oh, like you can't do this course anymore. But at that time had been in the nation for a while, and I'd understood by the nation I mean SPAC Nation, where Lovers and Inspirers comes from. And I had been with the community and understood the help that they can give you. And like when I came to my leader, Pastor Mariam, about this, and I was like, hey, like I failed this year, I really don't know what I'm gonna do. She was like, like we can fix this, like who can you speak to, stuff like that. And by the end of that, I actually went on to do like some resits, and then I finished that year with a 2-1, and then I just finished my degree, the whole master's, with a 2-1. And after that, it was sort of like, I go into like my dream university, I did what I wanted to do, but by the end of it, my confidence was completely crushed. Like, I was like, I used to be the studying person, but I'm not really the studying person because, I just failed and all of that. And after I'd finished my degree, I wanted to do a PhD. But even though I wanted to do it and I was applying, I didn't really believe that I could do it. And that's where we have Pastor Samuel George White, who came in and helped. You could just give him a round of applause. Yeah. So it was actually funny. So there's a scholarship that we've both applied to do our PhDs on. And I had seen it like months before, but I was like, I'm not good enough to do this. But then he applied for it and he got it, and then he was like, okay, let me coach you on what to do to get this. And then the first time I applied, I actually didn't get in, and I was so gutted. But then they came back to me a few months later and said, actually, like, we're gonna give you a second chance. You can actually still come in. And then that's when I did that again with more coaching, and then I finally got in. And I don't know if I have enough time, but if we could just read the one scripture that I sent.
Matthew 7 from verse 24 in the NKJV. Therefore, whoever hears these sayings of mine and does them, I will liken him to a wise man who built his house on the rock. And the rain descended, the floods came, and the winds blew and beat on that house, and it did not fall, for it was founded on the rock. But everyone who hears these sayings of mine and does not do them will be like a foolish man who built his house on the sand. And the rain descended, the floods came, and the winds blew and beat on that house, and it fell, and great was its fall.
Yeah, so what I was going to say from that scripture is that the first time when I was just trying to believe in myself, study as hard as I could, that was like the foundation that was just on sand. But when I got into the community and I sort of like strengthened myself with the people around me, like with the word and everything, I was building on that firm foundation, which then allowed me to go on and do the things that I needed to do. But yeah, thank you.
Good evening, lovers and inspirers. Good evening. Please, media team, be kind to me. I'm just saying that because you know. But anyways, hello everybody. I am Pastor Precious and I am 22 years old, and I'm going to tell you my story. So I'm going to start from where I grew up, which was Croydon. I grew up in Croydon, and my story really starts when I was 6 years old. When I was 6 years old, my dad left and he actually moved to Australia. Now, it was so funny because on the day that he left, I didn't know that he was even like not coming back. I was just a little girl rolling his suitcase away, and then I didn't know that I wouldn't be seeing him for the next 4 years. So after that, my mom, she was working, so we didn't have anyone to take care of us. And she actually had to leave us at home alone, and I was looked after by my older sister. So I have 3 siblings, an older sister, a little brother, and a little sister. And I was looked after by my older sister. And during this time, I actually remember feeling very scared, very overwhelmed. I felt like I didn't have anyone. I felt very lonely. And we lived like this for about a year. But after that year, my mom actually went to go get one of my aunties from Nigeria to come and move in with us. And I remember telling her on the day that we went to go pick up my auntie that, do you know what? I'm scared. Like, I'm scared of being left at home alone. I'm scared of not speaking to anyone. I'm scared that you're not there. And guess what she did? She slapped me. So that's African parents for you guys. She slapped me because because I told her that I was scared. But what that slap actually did was it actually started my journey. As funny as it sounds, that slap actually started my journey, because what that slap did to me was it actually silenced me. It silenced me for a very, very long time in my life, up until the point where I was 14 years old. I was in secondary school, and in my school, there was a lot of knife crime. There was a lot of people that were going to jail because of knife crime. There were a lot of people that were dying because of knife crime. People don't believe this is my story, but it actually is. And I was very, very angry about it. I was very angry at the fact that people in my school and my community and people that I grew up with, this is a photo, people that I grew up with, they could lose their lives to knife crime. I became very depressed. I was very suicidal, and I didn't have any way to express myself. So from that, I actually started writing poetry. I actually used to go out and party a lot every weekend. Like, even though I was 14, I used to party every weekend. I used to like drink. I used to do, yeah, don't watch that. But anyways, I'm changed now. But yeah, so I started writing poetry and as a way to actually outlet my emotions and write down my thoughts and express myself. And I didn't know that I was even writing poetry. I was just writing how I felt. I was just writing because I needed a way to express myself. So when I first started coming to church, I remember I was in Pastor Sam's house, in his first house, and I read him one of my poems, and he was like, "Oh wow, like, this is very good. You actually have a gift here. Like, I think you should cultivate it." And he just said to me, like, "Oh, these poems, they need to have a happy ending though. Like, how you, they're very sad." So he was like, "Are they going to end happy?" So, and that's what really took off my journey. So if the media team just bring the pictures back, places like this, platforms like this, communities like this, they gave me a platform to be able to express my voice and to be able to speak. They gave me a platform to be able to cultivate my gift. And one thing I want to say about this story is, because they're telling me to round up, is that through being able to decide and make decisions to be able to actually follow your destiny, you don't know what you're actually doing. And Peter yesterday was actually talking about your genius, being able to express your genius. And that genius is the things that you have inside of you, the things that you do naturally that nobody else can really do, and nobody else can actually show you how to do so as well. But you just are able to win and attract people easily like that. So just to end, I've graduated from uni. I have an undergrad degree in construction and engineering, and I'm currently doing my master's in law. But most importantly, if they just get the pictures up, but media team, be kind. But most importantly, I also now have a writing community. I also now have a writing community called Exhale. And the point of Exhale is to be able to give other people a platform to be able to express their voice, just like I was, by communities like this and by SPAC Nation. Thank you very much.
Good evening, lovers and inspirers. How are we all doing this evening? Don't worry, I don't have any throwback pictures. I do, but I'm not sending that. So we're gonna start with that. But I think briefly about my story, similar to Precious, I wasn't born here. I lived in Nigeria till I was 14. Came here, jumped straight into year 9. For me, it was such a massive culture shock coming from where I was coming from, and then having to come into the UK and start straight into secondary school. Fast forward till the age of 18, I grew up in a good home. My home wasn't bad. Like my dad wasn't around, but my mom was good. She tried her best. But for me, there was always something missing. I wanted to be more, but I didn't see anything around me that pushed me towards what I wanted to be like. So I ended up, it was just friends, 18. By the age of 18, I think I was just partying all the way through. I partied all the way from 18 to 19. I was just partying every weekend, every other day. That was literally my lifestyle. Come to the age of going on to 20 now, I met my leader. And that for me is an 11-year journey, but the thing that actually changed my life, or the changing point in my life, was leadership. You guys will hear a lot the more you stay around and the more you come. You hear a lot about leadership. You hear a lot about people like Apostle Toby, or you hear people names like Apostle Sam, Apostle James, Apostle Alex, and all these people. What that symbolizes is simply just leadership. I think, again, like I said, if I'm to bring a point to anything or to bring a change point to my life, it will be the introduction of leadership. Leadership is just a person. It sounds like a mad word. It's just meeting someone that just guides you and shows you how to live. So 19 met my leader. No, going on 20 met my leader. I applied for uni in Derby. I got in, but my course got deferred a year because there weren't enough people in the class. So the most random thing, the most random place, I ended up going to Cyprus to uni for a year and a bit. I studied civil and infrastructural engineering. I don't know why I did that or allowed my mom to push me to do that. I always make this joke that if I studied and actually completed it, I would have jumped off the bridge that I was meant to build. And I say that here for the fact that a lot of people get into things that they think they want to get into because society pushes you towards a certain way. My parents didn't know anything about the course. It was just because it looked good. And their friends' children did it. So it was like, okay, go and do it. But you see, that wasn't my thing, and that isn't my thing. So I would have ended up being depressed because I was trying to please someone. Anyway, fast forward now, I've spent a year and a half there. I've come back, I've gone to Derby. I joined the Nation family at the age of 22, going on 23. And I think I would say that's when, remember I said to you at the start, I always wanted to be something, but I didn't know how to get from what I wanted to be to actually actualize that. So fast forward now, joining the Nation family, constantly listening to a word from Pastor Toby, and not just listening, but seeing the evidence of what he was saying in his own life. That allowed me to, one, understand that what I dreamt wasn't so far away. And then two, it also gave me a roadmap and a blueprint to achieve what I thought I wanted, what I believed I was called to achieve and called to do. So moving on now, been in the Nation now for going on 8 years. Going on 8 years now in the Nation. I think I started off just like you, in an environment just like this. This is probably much nicer than where we started off, to be fair, but started off in an environment just like this with my brothers. And it was just us speaking to each other and getting to know each other, the sense of family, the sense of unity that we built amongst ourselves that allowed us to do the things we're doing now. Back then, we were in Brixton, Tulse Hill, Greenwich. And again, leadership, Apostle Toby creating a platform that allowed 22-year-olds, 21-year-olds. When I was 23, I was one of the leaders of a community unit, again, just like this, but this place, again, much nicer. So again, it's that sense of, I always knew I wanted to be something, but I just didn't know how to get there. I always knew that I was called to do something, but again, I didn't know what that was. I couldn't translate that. So again, introduction of leadership. And constantly listening to Apostle Toby and constantly being in an environment that stretches your mind and stretches your imagination, it forces you to not just think like everyone else, but it forces you to expand your mind to the point where you believe that you can do anything. And it actually challenges you to challenge yourself. So going on 7 years now, I think one of my highlights would be a Flaky Bakes. Now, Flaky Bakes is a mobile bakery. That's one of the businesses within the family, which I'm privileged to run at the moment. Yeah. And the inception of that business wasn't because I'm a great business guy or like I love business. I actually hate it so much. It's such a drag, but again, I'll say it's such a drag, but you see, my leader was speaking one day, and he was saying that the family should get to a point where it employs 10,000 people. And you see, I heard that word, and that word created a company called Flaky Bakes. And again, I say this not to brag that I have a company, but to show you and to tell you that in the words of, you can find vision. If you can find vision, you can find yourself. Because that's my story. I found leadership. In leadership, I found vision. And in that, I genuinely found myself. So today, I work for a company that does that manufactures air conditioners. I'm the one that I look after all their sites and all their engineers in the whole of London. And I also run a business. And the business isn't suffering, my career isn't suffering. That's also leadership. Because I wouldn't have thought that I had the ability to be able to balance both worlds, but I do it, and I do it every single day. My day starts when most of you are fast asleep, dreaming. I start my day every day at like 4:45 in the morning. That's the start of my own day, and it ends when it ends. But for me, that's fine, because that's my line, that's my calling. That's something that my leader has, that's a space I found within the vision of my leader. So again, a place like Lovers and Inspirers, and you hear Pastor James speak, you hear Pastor Stephen speak. A place like this, an atmosphere like this, a community like this, a home like this, is simply a platform for each and every one of you. Remember, I told you guys, I started off like you. For a long time in my journey, I sat at the back just listening to what my leader was saying. I sat at the back just listening to what a PT was saying, and the more I took in those words, the more I found myself. The more I took in those words, the more I was able to create something. And you see, creation has to be constant. So I'm not still satisfied with the fact that I've got a mobile bakery. I'm also looking for what's next. I'm also looking for, okay, my leader continuously speaks. What's the next thing? So how do I go from having a mobile bakery to being one of the largest food manufacturers in the world? How do I go from employing one person to employing 10,000 people? Because at the end of the day, my leader said 10,000 people. So you see, the beginning and the end of this thing is simply who you choose to follow. And when you come to a place like this and you hear words like this, it's not because we're perfect people, or it's not because I wasn't born rich. Like I said, my mom was a good person. She tried her best. I wasn't born rich. There's no one in my family that's well off. But coming into a place like this, what I realized is you don't have to be born into a wealthy family, or you don't have to be born into a family with great vision in order for you to actually find great vision. You don't have to be born into a family that's well off or great in order for you to turn out great. So what you need to do, and what I did, and what you will hear some of the leaders when they speak, what we all did, the simple fact of what we all did is simply to find leadership and attach ourselves to leadership. There isn't anything special about me. There isn't anything great, or there's no difference between me and you. There's actually no difference between me and you. At the end of the day, the only difference at the moment is the leadership I found, is the house that I found, is the words I chose to listen to and do. That's the only difference. So if I'm saying to you guys this evening, it's simply this. You've come here, don't just come and go. Make it a regular thing. You see, for me, one of the first things I did, and one of the first things I devoted my time to the moment I came into the nation, was I spent a lot of time listening to what Apostle Toby had to say. And you hear a lot about Apostle Toby. You hear a lot of names, because these are our own heroes. These are the heroes that we've created for ourselves. So when you hear businesses, or when you hear communities like a Sauron, or you hear businesses like a Limitless or Flaky Bakes, or you hear I Recruit, or different businesses within the Nation family, these are things that we've created. So no one gave us anything. Like, no one gifted us anything. No one was born with a silver spoon. No one's dad dropped 1M on us or anything like that. Whatever we have today, we built. Whatever steps we've taken today, wherever we may seemingly be today, these are only the products of the words that we're able to hear. These are the products of the words of our Father. And I'll keep saying this because I wouldn't be here today if I didn't take those words in. I wouldn't be here today if I didn't understand that I by myself couldn't do anything. I needed leadership. I needed guidance. Pastor Precious, I know I wasn't meant to preach today, but if you could go to, I think, the first scripture I sent you, and I'll be out of your hair in a few minutes.
Proverbs 4 from verse 23 in the NIV. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it.
It says, above all else, guard your heart because everything you do flows from it. So on Sunday, PT began to speak, and he began to speak about the word genius. And he began to say that essentially everyone has their own genius. Remember I said to you, I work a 9-to-5 and I run a business as well. That's my genius. It might not be yours. But the difference again between you and I is that I spent enough time listening to the word in order to find my own genius. I spent enough time listening to leadership. I spent enough time understanding leadership in order to find my own genius. And I think if there's another thing that I want to speak to you about today is the topic today is called the beauty of change. But I actually want to speak to you about a word called evolution. Did I send you that definition? Can you read that for me, please?
Evolution definition.
Yeah.
Descent with modification
Yeah.
from pre-existing species.
Yeah.
Cumulative inherited change in a population of organisms.
Read just the first definition again, please.
Descent with modification from pre-existing species.
It says modification from a pre-existing species, simply meaning I came in just as Onyeka, but my evolution 7 years after has allowed me to create a business that turns over 6 figures every year. And for you, that may be like, okay, but you see, for me, I did this without trying. I want you to understand something. And me saying I did it without trying is not me saying I didn't put the work in. It's me saying that because it's my leader's vision that I was just following, it was easy for me to do. I was having a discussion with someone yesterday, and I said to them, look, in our first year, we did about 65K in that year. By the next year, I was doing over 100 and something thousand. And that's my second year running. I have no business experience. So when I'm speaking to you again, this is my own story. This is not something I've read. This is in a book. This is me right in front of you, flesh and bone. At least you can touch me, right? Touch me. This is me right in front of you. So me saying that to you is so that you understand that what we have here, what we're building here, and what we've built so far and what we're continuously building, it's for you. It's a platform that was given to me, and my father put me on, so I have to put others on. That's the mandate my father gave me. So you hear the leaders speak. You hear my brothers speak. This is the mandate that we were given. Our father put us on and said, go into your society, go into the community, and then put people on. So when I want to employ people now, I don't ask for their CV. I sit down and hear their stories. Because at the end of the day, when it was my own turn to be given something to do, my father didn't ask for CV because I had none. When it was time for me to lead, my father didn't ask for my CV because guess what? I had none. The leading what my father gave me to lead created my CV. So if you hear me talking about a business today that does over 6 figures, that's my CV. But guess what? I didn't start off like that. I didn't have that. I told you I had no business experience. I wasn't born here, guys. I came here when I was 14. I knew nothing about business till today, still don't. The only constant in my life over the last couple of years, over the last 11 years plus, the only constant in my life is just the voice I've just chosen to follow. It's literally just the voice I have literally chosen to follow. And that has been the only constant in my life. And that continues to be a constant. And I say this to you guys so you guys can understand something. Whatever is out there for society is good and it looks good. But I promise you, it doesn't last. Every single star that rises in the world, they always come crashing down. You know, I spent over the last couple of weeks just literally doing a review on the business, on our clients and all of that. And I'm speaking to people and I'm just like, damn, you're going through it, you know? Yeah, you're really like, everyone is freaking struggling, man. They're struggling like mad. And I'm saying to myself, do we live in the same London? Like, do we breathe the same air? Do we live in the same London? Businesses are literally I'm looking at businesses that were giants in their industry that are on the verge of collapse. I was speaking to 2 gentlemen on Saturday, and they were telling me that one of the largest VFX companies is on the verge of collapse. And I'm saying to myself, for me, I don't know how you receive information, but for me, I'm trained to understand information a certain way. So if I'm hearing that companies are crashing, I'm just thinking, okay, it's time for a new generation of company owners to rise up. So if I'm hearing that media companies are collapsing, that means that there's a need for media companies. That means there's someone out there that's still yet to be found to create the next media company. So when I'm saying to you guys that, look, what made me again is word. It's not money. Do you get what I'm saying? It's not money. I make money. It doesn't make me. Do you get what I'm saying? It wasn't money that made me. It wasn't money that made me. It wasn't cars. It wasn't clothes. When I came in, the clothes wasn't this. It was rags. Do you know what I'm saying? Where we are at the moment, we built ourselves here brick by brick and step by step. So me speaking to you guys again is for you guys to understand that where you are right now, hearing the words you're hearing now, first of all, you have to be privileged to be here. You have to be privileged to hear these words, because at the end of the day, there are so many people in the world. You have to ask yourself, why are you here today? Why did someone invite you here today? It has to be that you're called for something. It has to be that at either a time in your life, God has appointed you for something. It had to be that at a time in your life, God had looked at you and said, you have been chosen or destined for something. I don't know what you create tomorrow. I don't know what field you go into tomorrow. I don't know what company, what product you're going to create tomorrow. But I do know that if you stay in this word, I do know that if you stay in this place, if you commit and put your hands to building this, it ends up building you. Again, guys, I came into the nation 7 years in. I only started doing business. I only started my company 5 years ago. For the first couple of years in the nation, all I did was put my hands down and build with my brothers. And guess what? What did we build? We built communities like this. What did we do with our lives? We dedicated our 20s to building communities like this. I told you guys, we did Brixton, Croydon, Tulse Hill, what else did we do again? We did Greenwich. We were in so many places in the whole of London. Again, not a place as nice as this, but we were doing something. We were building communities. We were speaking to people. We were helping people. We were employing people. My first job in the nation was working with a company called Zuriel, started by a Pastor Sam. That was the first company that put me on. Again, I had no experience. The first company that put me on, office was in Brixton. We put on thousands of people through just because of that office. It was a recruitment company. So again, it's the building of platforms our leader gave us in order to empower people. And you see, the words of my leader is what has carried me and continued to carry me. Again, guys, this is my own story. This is not me telling you someone else's story. This is not me quoting someone else's story. This is me telling you the life that I live every single day. I think I sent you another scripture.
2 Corinthians chapter 3 from verse 18.
Yeah.
And we all, who with unveiled faces contemplate the Lord's glory, are being transformed into his image with ever increasing glory, which comes from the Lord who is the Spirit.
Yeah. That scripture sounds like a mouthful, but I'll just summarize it for you, and it will be my last one before I leave you guys. How many people have ever heard the phrase, I want to know God? If you've ever heard that phrase, just put up your hand. I want to know God. Everybody ever felt that, or just thought, oh, I just want to know God, or I want a relationship with God? You see that relationship you're seeking with someone you can't see, feel, or touch. But you see, the God you're looking for, yeah, and stay with me. This will sound blasphemous to you and you may run out, but stay with me. The God you're looking for, yeah, it's in the thing that you're actually meant to build. I'll say this again. the God you're looking for is in the thing you're actually meant to build. If you're meant to build a media company, yeah, you will find God in that thing. Do you know why you find God in that thing? Because that building will push you to the limit of yourself. So, I didn't know what I could do or what I could accomplish till I started trying. But in order for me to try, I had to hear a word that caused me to want to try. Remember I said, I had dreams. I knew something about what I wanted to do, but I just didn't know how to get there. But then I found a leader that was practical enough to tell me, take a step here, take a step here. Don't do this, don't do that. Now, again, I said, the God you're looking for is in the thing that you're meant to build. But the question you ask yourself is, how do you know what you're meant to build? If you're meant to build a sports company and you end up trying to build a media company, you will be depressed and you will be frustrated. Because it's not you. It's not your genius. It's not the thing that was given to you to build. So, before I started anything, and this is true for all my brothers, before we started anything, we spent a lot of time finding the word. We spent a lot of time, and I can say finding the word, it sounds crazy, it sounds far away, it's not that much. We just listened to our leader a lot more. We were just more attentive to the words he spoke. And the more we increased our attention in those words, the more we began to find the thing that was actually created for us. Get me that scripture, please, the creation of the garden. The more we found ourselves in the word, the more we began to create things that weren't there before. We didn't know anything about recruitment. Our leader spoke, we created recruitment companies. We didn't know anything about STEM. Our leader spoke, we created STEM communities. The businesses we do, we didn't know anything about, but what we knew was our leader spoke, and in the speaking of our leader, we heard something. So my continuous growth, my continuous evolution is simply based on the fact that I constantly hear my leader speak. So the moment you as a person, the moment you stop growing, is not the moment you stop eating. It's the moment you stop hearing right words. Because at the end of the day, death is not really the 6 feet under thing, it's the thing about you not fulfilling purpose. So, you see, for me, when I said that if I was an engineer, I would have ended up jumping off the bridge that I was building. It wasn't my purpose. But you see, for the next person, that's their thing, that's their purpose. Apostle Tufimi is not here, but she's a civil engineer. That's her thing, that's her purpose. I'm not her, and she's not me. So it's the same way for you. You've got to find your own purpose. But you see, to find that purpose, there has to be something that leads you. If before you can drive legally, you need to have a driving license. You need to go through an instruction period. If you have to do that for something as mundane as driving a car, how do you think you as a person can live your life without instruction? How do you think you as a person can live your life without having an instructor to lead you on a daily basis? So I don't assume life. Because the assumption of life would only lead me to places that I can't help myself, so I can't assume. But the only thing I can rely on are just the constant listening to the words of my leader. Do you find me that scripture?
Genesis 1 from verse 24.
Yeah.
And God said,
Yeah.
let the land produce living creatures according to their kinds.
Yeah.
The livestock,
Yeah.
the creatures that move along the ground,
Yeah.
and the wild animals,
Yeah.
each according to its kind.
Each according to his kind, yeah?
And it was so.
Yeah.
God made the wild animals according to their kinds,
Yeah.
the livestock according to their kinds,
Yeah.
and all the creatures that move along the ground
Yeah.
according to their kinds.
Yeah.
And God saw that it was good.
Yeah.
Then God said, let us make mankind in our image.
Stop there. You see God's creation pattern constantly making something out of nothing. if you're here today, it's because someone saw something in you in order to invite you here. And if you're listening to me today and you're going to listen to Apostle James today, it's simply because God needs you to get to a point where you're also able to create. Because if we say that we're all children of God, then God simply create. That's just the mood of a God. That's the status of a God. It's nothing more, it's nothing less. You're just simply a creator. So if I'm leaving you with anything today, it's simply this. The understanding of who you are lies completely and absolutely in the words you as a person choose to listen to. And you can be born into a family, but there's a family that you're born into and then there's one you choose. There are people that are over your life that you listen to, but then it gets to a point in life that you begin to choose who you listen to because of where you as a person want to get to. So guys, I think that's it from me. And I believe Pastor James will be coming up next. Thank you.
Pull me a little closer. and take me a little deeper. I wanna know your heart. I wanna know your heart. 'Cause your love is so much sweeter than anything I've tasted. I wanna know your heart. I wanna know your heart. So pull me a little closer and take me a little deeper. I wanna know your heart. I wanna know your heart. Because your love is so much sweeter than anything I've tasted. I wanna know your heart. I wanna know your heart. And pull me a little closer. Take me a little deeper. I wanna know your heart. I wanna know your heart.
Jesus, Jesus, no other name I know but Jesus. Peace, bring it all to peace. The storm surrounding me, let it break. At your name, still, call the seas to still, the rage in me to still every wave. At your name, Jesus, Jesus, you make the darkness tremble. Jesus, Jesus, you silence fears. Jesus, Jesus, you make the darkness tremble. Jesus, Jesus, breathe, call these bones to live, call these lungs to sing once again. I will praise, breathe, call these bones to live, call these lungs to sing once again. I will praise Jesus, Jesus,
Lovers and inspirers are in the room tonight. No lovers and inspirers, let me hear you make some noise. You can do better than that. You can do better than that, lovers and inspirers. You can do better than that. Good evening, good evening. Just before I get into it, just take a moment. I want you to walk around the room, greet your neighbor, find out something new about your neighbor, the people that you're sat with. Find out one thing interesting about their day. Find out their name is what they've been up to today. Actually speak to them. Yeah. One more minute. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We can begin to make our way to our seats. Good evening. Has everyone enjoyed the service tonight? Have you enjoyed the service tonight? You know, just before I get into it tonight, let me just do the greetings and greet every single leader that's in here this evening. We've got Pastor Ray in the building with us. We've got Pastor Onyeka in the building. That was a strong word, strong charge. We've got Pastor Zainab in the building with us. We've got Pastor Stephen in the room with us. And of course, you've got myself, Pastor James, in the room. That's right. Let me greet everyone that's watching online. I greet all the leaders that's watching online, but most especially, I want to greet my leader, Pastor Kevin, and Pastor Mariam as well, that will be watching online. I want to greet the assistant senior pastor, Pastor Obi, and the senior pastor, Pastor Sam, and of course, my mother, my father, Pastor Lucy, and Pastor Toby. That's right. I don't want to spend too long with you tonight. That's the honest truth. I just want to have a conversation. But this conversation, I want it to stem from a question. And this question is going to start from a scripture. And my first scripture, Hebrews 11, verse 6.
From verse 5 in the Message.
Yes, please.
By an act of faith, Enoch skipped death completely.
Yeah.
They looked all over and couldn't find him because God had taken him.
Yeah.
We know on the basis of reliable testimony that before he was taken, he pleased God.
Yeah.
It's impossible to please God apart from faith.
It says it's impossible to please God apart from faith. So the first way for you to please God, you need faith. Without faith, you actually cannot please God. So the first thing that you need, your first ingredients that you always need in life is faith. You heard from a Pastor Onyeka speak about his business, how once upon a time he didn't actually have a business. He had an idea, but through faith, his business became actual. His business became into his reality. So tonight, the title for tonight is The Beauty of Change. And the reason why I named it that is because right now there's somebody sat in this room, or you're listening to my voice online, and you're about to hit a crossroad, and this crossroad that you're about to hit is the make or break. And this make or break is where you're actually asking yourself the question. And this question you're asking yourself is, what does life have in store for me? This is the question that I asked myself at the age of 18. And this question, when I hit this crossroad, I didn't know how to face it. I didn't know how to face it because what happened is that all my friends, all my peers began to turn against me. All my peers, all my family turned against me. And what did I do? It pushed me to the family. It brought me closer to this family, and it brought me closer to my purpose. And many of you, for those of you that are sat in this room, or for those of you that listening to my voice online right now, you're in search for your purpose. But the only way to find your purpose is actually the only way to find your purpose is by you going through pain. And this pain that you're going through, the first thing that you always need is faith. So the question is, what is faith? What does faith look like? What does it mean to be the embodiment of faith? What does it mean to have the ingredients of faith? Because you need faith. And faith is what's going to make you become that person or purpose. Without faith, it says it's impossible to please God. Continue, please. Just read it from where it says it's impossible to please God apart from faith.
And why? Because anyone who wants to approach God must believe both that he exists and that he cares enough to respond to those who seek him.
Read it again for me, please.
And why? Because
Start from it's impossible to please God.
it's impossible to please God apart from faith.
Yeah.
And why? Because anyone who wants to approach God
Yeah.
must believe both that he exists
Yeah.
and that he cares enough to respond to those who seek him.
Yep. So like I was saying, every single thing, the first ingredients that you always need is faith. The trials and pains that you go through are always going to be there. The struggles that you go through today is always going to be there. The thing that you continuously need is faith. And faith is what's going to push you into the person that you need to be. So I don't want to spend too long tonight. I just want to speak to you about your faith. And this faith is what's going to make you the person that you need to be. But through life, you're going to face trials. You're going to face struggles. And these struggles are continuously there to push you into the person that God needs you to be. And without these struggles, you cannot become that person. I hit a struggle. I hit a point in my life and I didn't know how to face it. But through hearing the word, and the word made me who I need to be. The word is making me. The word is forming me. Continuously, leadership is what's guiding me. So what is faith? The first sight of faith is the person that's in front of you. And that person that's in front of you is a leader. So without faith, you cannot become that person. So you need a leader. A leader is what's going to make you who you need to be. A leader is going to be the first instrument that you need for you to be that person. That person that you need to be. The first thing that you need is a leader. The first person that you're going to continuously look for is a mentor. When you find a mentor, when you find a leader, it's going to make you. Like Apostle Onyeka began to speak about how when he came into the house, he was broken. He didn't think he can do what he's doing now. But continuously hearing the word and continuously hearing the word of leadership and hearing Apostle Toby speak, it has made him, it's formed him. It's what's allowed him to have the business that he's doing today. It's what's allowed him to have a flaky base. For all the leaders that you see at the front, the reason why we're leaders and the reason why we're continuously leaders is because we're continuously hearing the word of faith. And it's through hearing the word of faith is what's going to make us. So in 2005, Apostle Toby heard the word of faith and he came into this country. And what happened is that his faith had to be tested. When he started, he didn't start with what we have right now. He continuously went through trials. He continuously went through struggles. But continuously, what did he need? What did he fall back on? His faith. And it is his faith that's what's allowed him to stand strong for 20 years. It is his faith that's what's allowed him to continuously keep making the businesses that he's making and producing leaders. It is his faith. So what am I speaking about tonight? I'm speaking about faith. And it's that faith that you need. What does faith look like? Faith pushes you into the fire. Faith pushes you into the fire, and that fire is what's going to make you. And what is the fire? The fire is logic. Because think about it like this. The reason why I say faith pushes you into the fire and the fire is logic is because nobody wants to step into the fire. Nobody wants to step into the fire because the fire will burn you. The fire will burn you. The fire is going to make you think about your life. But in fact, that fire is there for you to become that pure gold that you need to be. That fire is there for it to continuously make you who you need to be. And you continuously need to keep walking into that fire. And when you walk into that fire, what does that do? It makes you the person that you need to be. So in this room, there are people that God has been searching for. There are people that God has been looking for. There are people that God has put through many trials, many temptations, many troubles. But these troubles are there for a reason. These troubles are there to make you the person you need to be. Without these troubles, you cannot become that person. Without the pain that you're currently going through, you cannot become that person or purpose. You need this pain. You need that pain that you're currently facing. That pain that you're currently facing is what's going to make you the person that God needs you to be. The honest truth is God puts trials in everybody's life. But God puts a greater test, a greater trial in his sons and daughters' lives. Why? Because he knows that they have a bigger faith. And that bigger faith that they have is what's going to make them who they need to be. That's the honest truth. The trials that you're facing right now, everyone has temptations. Everyone has trials. But God puts bigger pains in your way. Bigger pains in your way so that you can become the person that he needs you to be. So without faith, it is impossible to please God. Without faith, it is impossible to travel into the fire. The fire is what's going to make you. The fire, you may think that the fire will burn, but this fire is going to make you into that pure gold that you need to be. that pure person that you need to be, that person of purpose, that person that God has in mind for you. It is the fire that's going to make you. Just take me to my last scripture and I'll begin to round up.
Luke 22 from verse 31 in the TPT.
Yeah.
Peter, my dear friend.
Peter, my dear friend.
Listen to what I'm about to tell you.
Listen to what I'm about to tell you.
Satan has obtained permission to come and sift you all like wheat.
Yep.
And test your faith.
Yep.
But I have prayed for you, Peter, that you would stay faithful to me no matter what comes.
It says, but I have prayed for you, Peter. Just read that once more. Let me move out of your way.
But I have prayed for you, Peter.
Start from the beginning, please.
Peter, my dear friend.
Yep.
Listen to what I'm about to tell you. Satan has obtained permission to come and sift you all like wheat and test your faith.
Yep.
But I have prayed for you, Peter, that you would stay faithful to me no matter what
It
comes.
says, but I have prayed for you, Peter. I have prayed for you, Peter. I have prayed for you, Femi. I have prayed for you tomorrow. Why? So that your faith, when the devil comes and tests your faith, you may stand strong. The honest truth is the devil is going to always come and test your faith. But what needs to happen is that you need to stand strong. Why do you need to stand strong? Because God has a purpose for you. And God is continuously praying for your faith. And he's continuously praying for your faith so that way you can stand strong. You can be that person of purpose. But you need to stand strong. You have a story to tell. And this story that you have to tell is to inspire another generation. There's another generation looking for a tomorrow. There's another generation looking for a Kino. There's another generation looking for Orion. But you need to stand strong. Your faith needs to stand. And the reason why your faith needs to stand is so that this generation can find you. The more you continue to stand, the more you continue to stand as a beacon of hope, as a beacon of light, what's going to happen is that another generation will begin to locate you. They will find you. They will find a Pastor Phaedra. If a Pastor Phaedra can remain standing like she has been, like the W has been, she's going to stand. People will find her. You're called to be an example, a hope, a beacon of light. But your faith will be tested. And when your faith is tested, what's meant to happen is that you stand strong. God is praying for you. God is looking for you. God has always been looking for you. That's why he was praying for you. But then now, you've hit a crossroad in your life. And this crossroad is, the future is looking at you. And the past is also there as well. But the question is, are you willing to become that person that God used you to be? Are you still happy to settle in the past? Because what's happening in our generation is that the future is looking at many people, but they're settling with the past. They're not looking to go forward. But there are people in here right now that God is calling to a greater light. God is calling for you to become that beacon of hope, for you to remain standing. And your faith has been tested. But what's going to happen is that you need to show people now your faith. How do you show people your faith? You continue to remain standing. For 20 years, the PT has been standing. Pastor Toby has been standing. I've been standing for 8 years. My faith has been continuously tested. Every single year, my faith is being tested. But what do I need to do? Stand strong. What do you need to do? Stand strong. When you stand strong, what happens? You become an example for many others. A Lovers and Inspirers is meant to stand strong. Whatever you're building is meant to stand strong. But how does it stand strong? You need faith. Your faith will always be tested. The devil is always going to be in your life. He's always going to try to test your faith. But God puts his faith in you. So the only thing that you can do now is put your faith back into God. I put my faith in God. I put my trust in God. I put my trust in my leader, in a Pastor Kevin. A Pastor Kevin put his trust in the word, in a PT. And what happened? He's been made. I am being made. So there are people in here that God wants to make. But he's looking for you to put your faith in him. There are people that God needs to make. The only way for you to become that made person is by you continuously putting your faith in him. Continuously putting your trust in God. Continuously. So I want to make a call. And this call is simply, I want to call you back to your faith. You know that you've been going through a rough patch. The things in your life has not been going the way you want it to go. You've hit a rock. And this rock is the future. The future is looking at you. And you're looking at the future as well. And the past is looking at you. and you're asking yourself, I need to go forward. I need to change my life. The only way for you to change your life is by you finding your purpose, by you locating your faith, putting your faith in God, putting your faith in a leader, putting your faith in a leader, in a mentor. So tonight, I want to call some people back to their faith. You've tried to do things your own way. You've tried to put faith in your own abilities. But now put faith in God. Let God make you. Let God make you that person that you need to be. That person of purpose. The purpose that God has always had in mind for you. Now allow God to make you that person. So I want to just make a call. And this call is simply, I'm calling people back to their faith. So if I can get a few of the leaders to join me. And if you feel like everything that's been spoken tonight has impacted you, you've heard the word, and you want to come back to your faith, you want to build a deeper relationship with God, all you simply have to do is make your way to the front. Don't worry about the person sat beside you. Just simply make your way to the front. That's all you have to do. And the leaders that you see here today, the people that you see at the front, they weren't perfect, but they became the people that they became leaders. Why? Because they've been standing. Now God has been asking you a question, and this question that God has been asking is, are you willing to put your faith in Him? This is the opportunity that you've been looking for. This is it. All you got to do is make your way to the front. All you got to do is make your way to the front. Don't worry about the person next to you. In fact, you're sat in your seat, you're asking yourself, is he speaking to me? I'm speaking to you. And you know I'm speaking to you. You know everything that's come out tonight has impacted you. It's hit home. It's resonated in your heart. But you're fighting yourself. That's the past fighting you. That's the past trying to hold you back in the past. Step into the future. Step into the future, my brother. Step into the future, my sister. And allow the word of God to make you who you need to be. Step into the future. The floor is open. And it's your opportunity to come forward. This is your opportunity to connect. This is it. All you got to do is make your way to the front. All you got to do. The leaders are here for you. The word has come out. You want to build your community, but you don't know how to. Come forward and allow these leaders, allow the leaders that you see to help you build a community. Help you. We're here to help you. Thank you. We're here to help you. The person that you want to be, the leader that you want to become, that opportunity that you've always been searching for, it's here in front of you. You're still thinking to yourself, is he speaking to me? All you got to do is make your way to the front. Stop fighting yourself. Stop allowing your mind to dictate your actions. Stop allowing your mind to hold you in your seat. Stop allowing the past to hold you in the past. The future is calling you. The future is calling you. The future is looking for you. There are still people that the future wants, that God wants to call into their future. There are still people. But all you got to do is just make your way to the front. All you got to do. That past, let go of the past. Let go of the past. Step into the future. Step into the future. Maybe the reason why life hasn't been going the way you want it to go is because you're still stuck in the past. The job that you've been looking for, the job that you've been searching for, the reason why is because you got to step into the future. Tonight is the opportunity for you to step into that future. That future version of yourself, the God version of you. It's here tonight. You can connect with it. You can meet it. Just step into it. Just answer this call. 1 more minute. The floor is open for 1 more minute. That business that you've been trying to build, that community that you've been trying to run, the future is here. Let's make sure we're connecting with every single person that we're speaking to, leaders. That's it. The guidance that you've been looking for is here. The word that you've been looking for is here. The word that you've been looking for. 30 more seconds, leaders. 30 more seconds. Let's make sure we're getting the numbers, leaders. Let's connect with them. Thank you, leaders. Thank you. Thank you, leaders. Thank you. Lovers and inspirers are in the building tonight. Are we in the room tonight? Have we enjoyed tonight? I want to hear you. Have we enjoyed tonight? Have you enjoyed every word that's come out tonight? That's right, that's right. Make some rowdy noise for Pastor Goodness as she comes back up.
Wow, amazing. What a powerful word and session that we just had tonight. I hope everyone feels inspired. But yes, I'm just here to close service and just do a few more announcements like I did at first. Those who didn't see me, just reduce that a little bit. Just those who didn't see me earlier, my name is Pastor Goodness. Well, I am Pastor Goodness, and this Saturday we have an event going on. It's called It's led by the Slow So Run community, and basically it's a running event. You don't have to be a runner. It's really nice, casual, social pace for everyone, newbies, elite, whoever you are. It's with having a 5K run event, and then oh wow, we have the flyer up right now. Okay, wow. Okay, so it's called Miles for Meals. It's going to be it's a whole spring fest really, because after the 5K run, there's going to be food trucks, places to get some food, some drinks. Then there's tennis, there's rounders, there's football, there's outdoor Pilates, there's a fitness class. There's really something for everyone. So it's this Saturday in Battersea Park from 10 a.m. So come down if you want to get registered. There's just this QR code right here. But anyway, if you meet someone, they'll tell you how to get registered. And just come down and have a good time. So that is it for that. And then just to also let you know to register for our next week as we meet every Monday. Just connect with someone and they will let you know how to register. Oh, look at that. So let me just step out the way. And this is a QR code to register for next week. But apart from that, thank you, everyone. We've had a great service. Now let's just have a great week ahead. Thank you. Okay, I think the stream's ended, so everyone have a good time.